Hello, everyone, and welcome to our academic podcast discussion. My name is Xin
And I'm Kaylee. In today's podcast, we will explore the concept of academic discourse and its functions, particularly in the context of supporting Year 6 ESL learners in Malaysian primary classrooms.
Academic discourse plays a significant role in education because it shapes how students communicate ideas, build arguments, and participate in intellectual discussions.
Yes, and in English language learning, academic discourse also helps students develop critical thinking and communication skills, which are very essential for their future academic success.
So, in this discussion, we will first define academic discourse, then explore its types and language functions, and finally, discuss how teachers can apply these discourse practices in Year 6 classrooms.
So, to begin with, academic discourse refers to the formal way of speaking, writing, and interacting in academic settings. It includes structured discussions where participants present ideas, support arguments with evidence, and also respond critically to other perspectives.
Hmm, I agree with that definition. While in addition, academic discourse encourages students to articulate their thoughts clearly and engage in intellectual dialogues with others. For example, in a classroom discussion, students are expected not only to share opinions, but they are also to justify their viewpoints logically.
That's a very important point. Academic discourse is not simply about just expressing opinions. It also requires critical thinking and reasoning.
Exactly. Students must learn how to support their arguments using explanations, examples, or evidence.
Yes, I totally agree with that. So, academic discourse can occur in several forms, including forums, discussions, seminars, and also debates. Each format encourages students to engage in different types of intellectual interactions.
Yeah, for example, classroom discussions allow students to exchange their ideas collaboratively, while in contrast, debates encourage students to defend a position and respond to the opposing arguments.
In my opinion, discussions are particularly useful in primary classrooms because they create a safe environment where students can share their ideas freely.
That's a very good point. However, I would argue that debates can also be beneficial for older primary students, like year 6 learners, because debates encourage students to develop their reasoning skills and consider about multiple perspectives.
I agree with you to some extent. While debates may be challenging for younger learners, but they can still be adapted through simple argument activities.
Mm, yeah. So now let's move on to the language functions used in academic discourse. These functions help to structure discussions and allow participants to communicate ideas effectively.
Some important academic discourse functions including expressing opinions, like supporting arguments, agreeing or disagreeing, seeking clarification, and also negotiating ideas. So now, let's begin with expressing opinions. In academic discourse, students are encouraged to share their viewpoints using appropriate and respectful language. Expressing opinions allows students to actively participate in discussions and demonstrate their understanding of a topic. Instead of just giving very short answers, students are encouraged to explain their ideas clearly and confidently. For example, students might say, in my opinion, or I believe that, or from my perspectives, or I think that. So these Sentence starters help students organize their thoughts and present their ideas in a very structured way. They also make discussions more meaningful because students are not just repeating informations, but are sharing their own interpretation and viewpoints. What do you think?
I agree with you, Kelly. Well, I think that encourage students to express opinions helps them to develop confidence in communication their ideas. So when students are given opportunities to speak and share their thoughts, they become more comfortable using English in academic settings. While this practice also helps them to learn how to explain their ideas clearly and listen to the opinions of others. For instance, during a reading lesson, a teacher might ask students what they think about a character's decisions in the story. While students may have different opinions depending on how they interpret the character's action, but some might agree that with the character's choice, while others might think that the character should have acted differently.
I really like that examples. So this type of question encourages students to reflect and articulate their thoughts, which is a very important academic skill. When students explain why they agree or disagree with a character's decision, they are actually practicing their critical thinking and reasoning. At the same time, they learn to respect different viewpoints and also understand that people may interpret the same text in very different ways. Through regular practice of expressing opinions in class discussions, students gradually become more confident speakers and more active participants in academic discourse.
Hmm. However, expressing opinions alone is not sufficient in academic discourse. Students must also learn how to support their arguments with clear reasons or evidence. Simply stating an opinion does not show how deeply understanding of the topic. In academic discourse, students are expected to explain their thinking and justify their viewpoints. This helps them making the ideas becomes more convincing and meaningful to others in the discussion. While I would like to give examples again, students might say that I think the main character is brave because he helped his friend even when he was afraid. While in this sentence, the student not only gives an opinion, but also provides a lesson to support it. This shows that the student has thought carefully about the character's action in the story.
Wow, you always gave a lot of useful examples, and that's good. So, exactly, I completely agree with you. So, by proving explanations, students demonstrate deeper understanding of the topic. When students give reasons or examples, it shows that they are analyzing the information rather than just simply giving a personal opinion. This practice encourages students to think critically and support their ideas logically. It also helps other students understand their perspective more clearly.
Yeah, I would like to give some example follow-up questions for the teachers to encouraging the students. So, for example, the teachers can encourage this by asking follow-up questions such as why do you think that? Or what evidence from the text support your ideas? Or can you explain your reasoning further? Or last, finally, which part of the story makes you think that? While these types of questions prompt the students to elaborate on their answers and think more deeply about the topic being discussed. While time by time, the students become more confident in explaining their ideas and supporting their arguments with the clear reasoning. And this is an important skill in both academic learning and real life communication.
Yes, I agree with that. So, another important function in academic discourse is agreeing and disagreeing respectfully. In academic discussions, students often have different ideas or interpretations, and that is completely normal. Disagreement does not mean conflict. Instead, it allows students to examine ideas more deeply. When students learn how to agree or disagree politely, they can participate in discussions more confidently and contribute meaningful opinions without offending others.
Yes, but I think that they should express disagreement politely and thoughtfully. In academic settings, the goal is not to prove that someone else is wrong, but to exchange their ideas and learn from each other. There are many useful expressions students can use to show their agreement or disagreement in a respectful way. Well, for example, I agree with your point because blah blah blah, or that's an interesting idea, and I would like to add that, or I see your point, but I have a slightly different opinion about that. Or while I understand your argument, I believe that. So by using these kinds of expressions, help to keep the conversation constructive and respectful.
That's some good examples. So, in my view, learning how to disagree respectfully is particularly important for developing critical thinking skills. When students question ideas and present alternative perspectives, they learn to analyze information more carefully. This process encourages them to evaluate evidence, compare viewpoints, and justify their own arguments with clear reasoning. As a result, academic discussions become more meaningful and intellectually stimulating.
I completely agree about that. Well, it also teaches students to respect different perspectives and understand that there can be more than one valid viewpoint in the discussion. While when students listen carefully to others and respond respectfully, they develop better communication and collaboration skills. These skills are not only important in academic settings, but are also valuable in real life situations, such as teamwork, problem solving, and professional communication. While another essential function in academic discourse is seeking clarification. During discussions, students may sometimes encounter ideas, terms, or explanations that are not completely clear to them. In such situations, it is important for students to feel comfortable asking questions instead of remaining silent. Seeking clarification helps students gain a deeper understanding of the topic and prevents misunderstandings, while it also encourages active participation because students become more engaged when they are willing to ask questions and explore the ideas further.
Yeah, I totally agree with your ideas. So let me state some examples. Students might ask questions such as, could you explain that further? Or what do you mean by that? Or can you give another example? Or could you clarify your point? Or how does that relate to the main point? So these types of questions show that students are actively listening and trying to understand the discussions. They also encourage the speaker to provide more detailed explanations, which can benefit everyone involved in the conversations.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. While these questions help maintain meaningful dialogue and ensure that the discussions remain clear and productive. When students ask for clarification, it allows ideas to be explained more thoroughly and helps prevent confusion among the group members. In addition, clarification questions create the opportunities for deeper exploration for the topic. The process supports collaborative learning where students work together to build knowledge and improve their understanding through discussion and shared perspectives.
So Finally, academic discourse also involves negotiating ideas. This occurs when participants work together to reach a shared understanding or a common conclusion. In many academic discussions, students may start with different viewpoints or interpretations. Through discussion, questioning, and also exploration, they will gradually refine their ideas and work towards an agreement. Negotiating ideas is an important process because it encourages students to listen carefully to others and consider multiple perspectives before making a final decision.
Hmm. I would like to add on some examples too. While in group work, students may discuss different opinions and eventually agree on the best solution. At the beginning of the discussion, each member might propose their own suggestion or approach to solve a problem. However, through the conversation, they may evaluate each idea, compare the advantages and disadvantages, and also combine different viewpoints to form a stronger solution for it. This process allows students to learn from one another and build knowledge collaboratively.
Yes, so that's a good point. This collaborative process helps students develop communication, teamwork, and problem-solving skills. When students negotiate ideas, they practice expressing their thoughts clearly, listening actively to others, and also responding respectfully. In addition, they learn how to compromise and find solutions that benefit the whole group. These skills are essential not only for academic success, but also for future professional environments where teamwork and effective communication are highly valued.
Now, let's discuss how teachers can apply academic discourse practices in a Year 6 ESL classroom. At this level, students are already able to express simple ideas in English. So, teachers can gradually introduce some more structured discussions in the classroom. By creating a supportive environment, teachers can encourage students to share opinions, ask questions, and respond to their classmates' ideas. This helps students practice using English for meaningful communication rather than just simply memorizing the vocabulary or grammar rules.
Yeah, so teachers can create opportunities for discourse through activities such as group discussions, peer feedback sessions, role play activities, and also problem solving tasks. These activities allow students to interact with one another and use language in authentic situations. For example, during group discussions, students can exchange opinions about a topic and learn how to agree, disagree, or add a new ideas. Peer feedback sessions also help students improve their speaking and listening skills while learning how to give constructive comments to their classmates.
Yeah, I think there's an example here. While during a reading lesson, the teacher might organize a small group discussion about the theme of a story. Each group can discuss questions such as what message the story conveys, which character they relate to the most, or what lesson can be learned from the story. Students can express their opinions, support their arguments with evidence from the text, and also respond to each other's ideas. This kind of discussion encourages students to think more deeply about what they read. So, what do you think, Kelly?
Well, I think this not only improves language skills, but also encourages critical thinking and collaboration. Through these discussions, students learn how to organize their thoughts, explain their reasoning, and also listen to different perspectives from others. Over time, they become more confident in expressing their ideas in English. As a result, academic discourse helps students develop both their language proficiency and their ability to participate in meaningful academic conversation.
Our teaching theories such as constructivism and social cultural theory strongly support the use of academic discourse in the classroom. Constructivism emphasizes active learning, while students can construct their own understanding and knowledge through experiences and interaction with others. Instead of simply receiving information from the teacher, students actively participate in discussion, asking questions, and sharing their ideas. By doing this kind of process, they are able to build deeper understanding and connect new knowledge with what they have already learned before it.
Yeah, similarly, social culture theory highlights the importance of social interaction in cognitive development. According to this theory, learning occurs when students engage with others and participate in meaningful communication. So teachers and peers play a very important role in supporting students' learning by guiding discussions, asking questions, and also providing feedback. This interaction helps students gradually improve their thinking and language skills.
Exactly. Through discussions and collaborative activities, students learn from one another. When students share different perspectives, they are exposed to new ideas and ways of thinking. This allows them to reflect on their own understanding and refine their knowledge. In addition, collaborative learning encourages students to explain their reasoning, which helps strengthen both of their communication skills and conceptual understanding.
Therefore, academic discourse is an important strategy that supports these learning theories. By encouraging discussions, collaborations, and interaction in the classroom, teachers can create a more engaging learning environment. Students not only develop their language proficiency, but also improve their critical thinking, confidence, and ability to work effectively with others. So now, to conclude, academic discourse is a crucial element of effective learning. It encourages students to express ideas, evaluate arguments, and also engage in meaningful communication.
While by incorporating academic discourse practices in the classroom, teachers can help year 6 students develop language proficiency, critical thinking, and confidence.
More importantly, these skills prepare students for their future academic challenges.
Well, thank you for listening to our academic podcast.
We hope our discussions has provided useful insights into the importance of academic discourse in education. Thank you and
bye.
goodbye.